Hello. We are going to continue with the mumonkan. We are going to do today, case 5, Kyogen's man up a tree. I do not like this one. Let's just, oh boy. Yeah, let's start with that. I'm not a fan of this koan. And this is a problem. This is one that leads to lots of struggle in my life. All right. Kyogen said, "It is like a man up a tree hanging from a branch with his mouth. His hands grasp no bough, and his feet rest on no limb. Someone appears under the tree and asks him, 'What is the meaning of Bodhidharma's coming from the West?' If he does not answer, he fails to respond. If he does answer, he loses his life. What would you do in this situation?" Okay. Well, this is I think this is pretty simple. I don't know a lot about. Okay, so Kyogen he's a famous monk, or masters in mastering. I don't know what the right word is. He's famous. He's well known for being. He's known for being well read. But I don't think we're not going to go into the commentary now. We'll do that in the next video. But that we go over being well read and the issues with that in later. And the other thing that might be confusing is Bodhidharma is the guy who brought Buddhism from the West, from India to China. So this is just a random question. Why did he come from the West? And it's sort of he's supposed to, I guess it's a sort of, it's one of the things that you're supposed to do when you're a Zen monk or a priest. It's sort of your vow, I guess, to help people who are suffering, or maybe to explain these great questions. Actually, I don't know exactly what that is, but he has to answer this question. It's like his duty to answer this question. So he's in a situation where it's his duty to answer the question. If he answers, he'll die. If he doesn't answer, he fails to answer. He doesn't answer. He's ignoring his vows if he doesn't answer. So this is really tricky. I'm not sure how to respond in this situation. So it gets kind of weird because he will lose his life. If he answers, he dies. It's not clear if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Let me explain. In this case, it could be that he is answering his vows, so he dies, which would be something like he might reach enlightenment or something like that. But it could be that he answers whatever question, and he's activating. He's not responding in the right way. He's he's responding in the wrong way, and that knocks him out of whatever would have been enlightenment. Let me try to give a more practical example of what I mean by that. It's like if you're walking down the street and you hear somebody going on about some weird conspiracy theories, like the moon is hollow and the Martians are going to come and take control of the government, some sort of ridiculous thing, and you know that there's nothing that you could say to stop this person from believing the thing that they believe. You can insert any conspiracy theory that you don't like. There's nothing that you can say that's going to change their mind, but you feel like you need to say something. You have a responsibility to help people, or you have a responsibility to say something. So you're stuck. You're in this terrible situation where if you don't say anything, you feel bad because you didn't say anything. And if you do say something, you lose your life. You get knocked down to their level, in a sense. So that's one way of thinking about this. And it's important that, well, it's not super important, but one way I like to think about it, it's like the man who's up in the tree, all of this stuff is mind created. So he's limited. He's in this fragile position hanging on the tree, and this is his own mind. He did this to himself. And then somebody walks under him. And he did that to himself too, because he set up this vow. You can go crazy and say that the man that is walking down his mind created, but in either case, the answering of the question, his need to answer the question, his mind created. So he put himself in this fragile situation where he has to do something, but if he does the thing, it breaks down all of the fragile structure that he has built up. And if he doesn't do anything, he's just betraying himself in some fundamental way. So what do you do in that situation? I have no idea. What do you do if you have built up this tree and you're hanging from a branch? So you have you have a house, you have car, you have family or something, responsibilities to take care of. And then you're hanging from these responsibilities from your teeth. Somebody you just have all these responsibilities that you have to take care of, and you're hanging from your teeth. And then somebody comes by and asks you, what are you doing? Who are you? What are you? These are some of the basic standard questions. Who are you before your parents were born? What is the meaning of Zen? These are standard questions. But what are you? What are you doing? Why? What is your true passion? So let's say all of this stuff. He's building up all these things in the tree. He's working and he's got responsibilities. And then somebody says, "What is your true passion?" Now he's stuck. He can either not say anything and hang on to all the things that he's built up. He can hang on to the job that he has. He can hang on to all of his responsibilities, his family, his job, his car, his house. He can hang on to all those things. Or he can say what his passions are. And in doing that, once you reveal those things, you let go of all the things that have been holding you back. You let go of all those things, and you lose your life. You lose all the responsibilities that you had in that fragile situation are all let go. And it's not very clear if that's a good thing yet. It could be like that's, you're getting rid of all your ego and you're getting towards enlightenment. We've talked about killing the Buddha and stuff like that. Killing and dying in these texts sometimes means a good thing, but it could also sometimes mean a bad thing, like you're stooping down to a lower level. And I feel like I'm in this situation right now. Well, I'm in the situation of falling. I've let go of the tree and I'm falling, and I have no idea if losing my life is a good thing or a bad thing. That's where I'm at the moment. And this is a terribly tricky situation when thought about. Thinking about what does it mean to lose your life, all the things that you can be attached to, all the mental things that you've built up, that I've built up over my life, and I am attached to those things. I was attached to those things, and when I let go of all those things, where do I go? I don't know. So I guess that's what I would do in the situation. I would say something. Unfortunately, I say that in definitely bad situations. This, I guess, the more broader situation, responsibilities and letting go of all those, it seems that could be good or bad. It's not very clear. I also just do it in really bad situations where there are some people who like to talk about this sort of stuff, this sort of vaguely spiritual Zen Buddhism stuff. And there are some people who talk about it in a very bad way, like in a bad faith way. So they might understand that I talk about this stuff. They know that I like to think about it and read books or watch videos, and then they might ask me something about Zen, or ask me something about nihilism, which is something I'm also I identify with. But the problem is, I know that when they ask me what they're asking me to do, they're asking me like about nihilism, and the immediate question after I say something about nihilism and how great it is, they're going to be like, well, if you're a nihilist, then what you're saying doesn't mean anything. So why are you even talking, right? And it's like I want to help people in some sense because I think that people are attached to things for no reason. And if they realize that there is no reason, they can let go of those attachments. So I'm trying to help the person who is asking why Bodhidharma came from the West, or asking me to tell them about nihilism or Zen or whatever. But when I start talking, I realize that I'm getting rid of, I'm falling down to their level because I have to engage in their way of thinking, which is not compatible with Zen or nihilism or Buddhism in general, or even other Eastern religions and Taoism and such. Talking about the Tao that can be spoken is not the Tao. That sort of thing, you come into really quick problems, and you stoop down to the level. I mean, you just hate yourself. Hate isn't the right word, but you don't like yourself, and it's the same if you're trying to convince somebody away from conspiracy theories, or trying to convince somebody to wear a mask. We'll say, sort of vaguely modern sense. Right? We're in the midst of the coronavirus thing going on here, and social distancing, and if you try to convince somebody to wear a mask, I mean, if they aren't convinced already, it's not going to happen, and you know that. But you try anyway, and trying makes you lose your life because you get the point. Anyway, I don't like this one. I don't like this one at all. So, if you like the video, hit me a thumbs up. If you got some comments below, comment down below. And subscribe because we got to go over the commentary and the verse, which are a little bit easier for us to go over. But that'll be the next video. So subscribe, hit the notification bell, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye-bye.